What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge and we are back today with another Scourge preparation video. If you guys checked out my previous video on mutants, be sure to check it out because I did give my thoughts in regards to some of the better mutants that we can prepare. Now in this video today, we're going to be talking about the minions, my potential suggestions in terms of what I think right now in terms of the characters that can be best utilized. I don't think it's going to be one or done. I think there's going to be lots of different options, but as well as kind of giving you guys a quick update in regards to potentially notes that you may or may not have seen in the Marvel Strike Force blog post. So just to recap, guys, it was a couple weeks ago when we got the Marvel Strike Force blog post before they went on vacation that they announced the coming of the Famine Scourge again, but as well the Dev Scourge details breaking down what specific trait requirements are going to be needed for the Dev Scourge once it comes about. So what I'm going to put on screen here is the note that was included in the blog post if you guys haven't seen it. But what they did note here was that of special note that there are 3 scourges that specifically affect minions. It's going to be called the Undead Swarms, Rise Anew, and Super Soldier Serum. These scourges are all worth a hefty 23 points, which is one of the highest point ranking for scourges, affecting all minions in battle, player minions included. Now keep these scourges in mind, especially for the first 2 nodes, which specifically are the required nodes that we can only utilize minion characters, as they can be used strategically to support your own minions. So it's something that may potentially be overlooked by players because we focus so much on the fact that, oh no, we now have to level up these minions. It's definitely frustrating because you're going to see shortly here in my roster how underdeveloped they are. But I will have to say that these scourges do give them a lot of potency and power, guys. So now I'm going to put in the screenshot here. This is what was provided to us in the blog post as well in terms of what those 3 scourges specifically will do if you activate them for the running of the event. And to be honest, I think they are overall really good to utilize. Unfortunately, it impacts all minions, which means for the other nodes that we play with our regular characters, it also means that if we're up against minions, they're going to get all these benefits. But I think it's going to give us a lot of value, and I think the payoff might be worth it, guys. So allow me to just go through and read each one for you so that way you can get a better understanding on each of these scourges that are going to be added. Undead Swarms. So for this one specifically, all the minions are going to gain revive once. Okay, means they just have a second chance for battle if they do fall during the attempt. Rise Anew is on each turn, minions will flip negative effects. Okay, that means we technically may not need a cleanser on our team because that tells us, especially if you don't activate the first one, but Rise Anew ensures that we don't necessarily need someone to be mindful of flipping negatives because they'll naturally do it already with this Scourge activated. And then lastly, Super Soldier Serum. All minions gaining an additional 30% in focus, health, crit chance, crit damage, revive health, and as well active healing. So this by far is the best one, guys. Super Soldier Serum, without a doubt. I think it's a no-brainer to activate. Rise Anew is really good too because it's going to allow us to have a cleanse. And in Undead Swarms, it's going to give us a chance to revive. So I mean, to be honest, all of them are going to be very valuable for us to utilize in the minions, right? Especially when we're trying to decipher here, if there isn't going to be a rework in this upcoming month, mentally, we have to be prepared for the fact that we got to choose 5 of the minions right now. That's the best in our roster on paper anyways, assuming there's no more changes coming to the game, because we don't know. Like, there could be a big update coming for the minions, and that could completely reshape this. But to be honest, because it is only 2 nodes, I don't know if they would do a patch just for that, as opposed to us, utilizing what we have in our arsenal and trying to theory craft some strategies here. That's it, guys. Now that we have all the information on hand, I do want to kind of show you my roster. Nothing impressive here. You're going to see all my minions. They're super underdeveloped because, quite frankly, they're just not utilized anywhere in the game. And I probably haven't touched some of these characters since I started playing the game 3 years ago. So that's why it's really important to have this discussion on which characters to best consider, because there are quite a boatload of them that aren't going to be valuable. So at least we know who we shouldn't be using, but at the same time there are some better cut minions from this mixture. So first and foremost, guys, I added a heart to the ones I think are going to be valuable because in my honest opinion, they provide a lot of support and benefits for the team. More specifically, the Ravager got reworked this year, if you recall, with Star-Lord T'Challa and as well as Yondu. Being part of that Ravager's mixture allowed them to pretty much cement a better place, not just in the war meta, but they're also just utilized in aspects even like Dark Dimension 5 when you just need a cheap minion character, Cosmic, in combination with T'Challa, and a lot of folks likely will have both Ravager, Stitcher, and T'Challa already built up. So at least you're going to get some value there. But I think this synergy, this mixture of the Ravagers is a good one to consider, because these three specifically can also be used for most recently the War Scourge. So you're going to be getting some value out of these guys already from being in the War meta, but as well them being also utilized in a Scourge that's also in the end game. Especially Ravager Stitcher, guys. His healing kit is probably the best out of all the minions. Mind you, we have those other Scourges that I brought to your attention for healing, but I mean, Stitcher's kit's just so good, especially his special ability here. Once you level it up, you know, it stacks twice where he can steal 5% HP from the enemy, distribute it, and then as well steal it again and redistribute it to the most injured ally. So naturally, he's just going to do a lot of healing. Doesn't have an ultimate because most of these minion characters won't. But I mean, his sustainability and healing is going to be really, really good. Even if you don't plan on bringing the entire Ravager team, I highly recommend Stitcher just because of his healing, the sustainability that he can bring in. And likely, he can flip the tide of battle if one of our minions actually need a heal, right? And I don't have him built up, but I feel like he's going to be probably one of the safer options to consider, guys. Even his basic ability, you know, he can apply heal block. If they have defense down, he's also going to have a chance to apply heal block with piercing damage, right? So that's the caveat here. There's always going to be a chance, but the defense down does help for sure. And then any characters killed by this attack cannot be revived too. So, you know, it's going to be a good opportunity if there's any enemies that we're up against that do have a revive. But either way, I like his kit overall, and even as passive, he gains additional HP. He applies regen to Ravager allies. So that's really where the value is going to come from. It does make sense to have a strong, sustainable character, just to be able to be that backbone and support, right? That said, Ravager, Boomer, and Bruiser, they do different things, but I mean, they can round out the rest of the team, especially Boomer providing more of the damage. He can reduce the speed bar, which is huge, just giving you that turn meter. And then let's not forget about as well Bruiser here, also having the defense up, support capabilities, flipping positive effects, copying positive effects. So I mean, they all kind of do a little bit of their own synergy and mixture there. And obviously, the one thing for me that I noticed is I'm using these three, we definitely need a character or two to give us some benefits in terms of damage output, right? So that's the one thing to consider. But another character I would highly recommend, guys, if you are just trying to select some of the better minions, Lieutenant is a no-brainer. Although he's really, really squishy, just some of the buffs he has is absolutely beautiful. Like, just for instance, just look at what he can bring to the table. Offense up, speed up. I mean, he's going to be able to provide a lot of benefits to the team, and that's going to be a difference maker for them to get more turns, right? And the nice thing about his benefits is that it doesn't just apply to himself. He gives it to allies regardless of who it is. His passive also, this one's really nice. On turn, he has a 30% chance to heal the most injured ally for 20%. If they're mercenary, they get additional benefits, but again, just having that off chance heal potentially is going to be really nice. Having Lieutenant combined with Ravager, Stitcher, they're going to be both able to really be a backbone in healing sustainability of the team, especially after we factor in those three Scourges, all of them having boosted effects and a revive, being able to flip negatives. I mean, this is looking like a pretty solid team overall, right? Last but not least, guys, you know, that really leaves us now, if I'm going to bring in those four specifically, because I think they have a lot of good synergies, you know, who can round out the last piece? You have the puzzle, you know, the last character here for damage-wise. And to be quite honest, it's kind of a mixed bag here. So what I did is I just grabbed the MSFGG website in terms of just sorting, you know, who has the highest damage, because that's kind of what we're lacking right now, right? Lieutenant and Stitcher are really supportive characters. You know, same with Bruiser. Boomer really doing the bulk of the work with turn meter. So when I sorted this, it was just to give me a sense of the damage output. But we also want to utilize the synergy of either Ravager or Mercenary if you are planning to bring in that team. So you can see here, the good news is Bruiser and Stitcher, they do actually have, they're at least in the top 10 here for damage, right? Which is kind of nice. Same with Boomer as well. So all those Ravagers are on the right track, which is really nice. And you can see here from the damage output, some strong considerations could be any of the mixtures that involve Mercenary. So Mercenary Soldier, who's a little bit more tankier, as you can see with the armor, but you know, he does have actually the highest damage output out of all the minions in the game. We also have Sniper, who can do a lot of damage as well, a little bit weaker in the armor department, but I mean, you know, definitely has more direct damage output, especially with his skills, as opposed to Soldier. And then moving down the list, you do see a couple of these hand characters, Assassin and Archer. They can do some decent damage as well. And then we have some of the Hydra guys with Grenadier and Sniper. So I mean, there's some good considerations there for sure. There isn't really going to be a clear answer, to be honest, guys. But I personally, I think I might just do a Mercenary Ravager mixture, just to take advantage of the synergies, right? Assuming there's no more patch updates and reworks, I think that's the one that makes the most sense right now, guys. And I do feel quite confident in this team, due to the synergy of the healing that's available, but as well as those 3 Scourges being tacked on. I think this could be potentially a strong solution, guys. But let me know what you think in the comments below. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Not Hand or Hydra, just because we're not going to have much synergy as them slotting in as the 5th character. So that's why I think at least a Mercenary, there's only 3 Ravagers, so I mean, it has to be either Mercenary or a strong standalone character that can deal with some damage output to balance the rest of the team. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below, because I'm curious what you're building. In the meantime, though, I'm not going to be spending anything yet, guys. This is my tentative plan, so I strongly urge you not to do anything just yet. Let's see how the next couple weeks look, with them giving us some more updates to come, especially with this week's Marvel Strike Force blog post, where there may be more details to come, right? Let me know what you think, guys. Thank you as always. Do appreciate you checking my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.